Hello, good morning from New York. I feel like I'm always doing something in my car during alternate side parking. So here I am, Monday, in my car in Harlem. It's a beautiful day. It's, gosh, I think it was 82 when I actually checked the temperature. Hey, Allison. If you can hear me, let me know. If you're logging on, let me know you're here, and so I can say hi to you. Go ahead and just hop in with a comment down below. Hopefully you guys can hear me. And then I'll get started. Yeah, so beautiful day today in New York. So exciting. I usually don't do this camera view, by the way, so I'm not going to be looking at the camera because the camera is like this and not like this. But yeah, so hopefully everyone can hear me. Wait for a few more people to jump on. Hello, hello. If you can hear me, let me know. Waiting for the street sweeper seems to be my normal existence on Mondays and Thursdays. Yeah. Well, I'll just get started. Hopefully you guys can hear me. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is expectations and where expectations come from. There's a lot of yoga philosophy, but one of the things that I live my life by, hey, okay, good, Allison, yeah, you can hear me. All right, so one of the things that I live my life by, and have since I went through teacher training about four years ago, gosh, has it been that long? It's been a while. It's ahimsa, so non-harming, and where I think I was living my life before that was because I didn't know and I didn't love myself and I didn't give myself the things that I needed. I expected that from other people, and I expected them to do the things that I needed to be giving to myself over and over and over again. So specifically in very close relationships, but family, boyfriends, girlfriends, things like that. That's where you'll see that a lot. Even people you're just randomly, I mean, really anybody. So expectations are like the root of all suffering. And oh God, if I can just God, I can't tell you how much suffering I inflicted on other people before I learned this concept. It was because I didn't love myself. I didn't have the knowledge to love myself, really. I had no idea. So actually, you know what, let me go back just a second to where all of this started. When I was 19 years old, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and I was in the hospital at 20 looking down at my stomach split open after just having had an emergency surgery. And my boyfriend at the time had left the hospital. He dropped me off at the ER and was like, okay, bye, and left me there by myself, 2,000 miles away from my nearest family member. My parents, we couldn't get a hold of my parents before the surgery. We couldn't get a hold of my grandparents. I think right when they put the epidural in my back, I was already high on all of these drugs from getting ready for surgery. We finally got a hold of my grandparents to tell them that I was having an emergency surgery. But I remember getting out of that surgery, and the doctor was like, you were so sick. You're the sickest person that I've ever operated on that actually lived. And it's a complete miracle. You had a softball-sized abscess that had perforated. It was killing you. You were within hours of dying. And guys, I remember looking at my stomach and the fact that this guy that I really loved at the time was not there. And I remember looking at my stomach and thinking, no one is ever gonna love you ever again. Like, no one will ever love you ever again. And I had forgotten that thought, but that one thought led to every action with men, especially from that point on. And so I was constantly chasing and trying to find the guy that would just, I could hold on to, that I could hold on to. And then from that place of insecurity and from that place of lack of self-love, of not knowing myself and not knowing my patterns and not believing that I was worthy of love and belonging, I made choices and I inflicted pain upon people trying to get them to fill that hole for me, that void that I needed to be filling myself. And it wasn't until yoga and digging in and getting really present and challenging my thought processes, my default thought processes, my default modes of operation and how I showed up in this world, and asking myself, hey, that causes a little bit of suffering. Is that useful? Is that something I should be doing? Is that something I should be thinking? Is that necessary for my life? Also, is that necessary to, sorry, I've got a little alert. Is that necessary to inflict shit on other people, my own shit on other people, expecting them to live a certain way or show up a certain way or behave a certain way so that I can be okay? It doesn't work that way, you guys. It doesn't work that way. We have to give ourselves everything that we need. We have to love ourselves first and foremost. We have to be okay with being alone. We have to be okay looking in the mirror. And more importantly, we have to tell ourselves the things that we don't even believe yet. That we don't even believe. Thank you, Nicole. I love you. Thank you so much. We have to look in the mirror and tell ourselves before we even believe it, you are so beautiful. You have purpose in this world. You are going to make a massive impact. Just get raw, get real, show up, strip off the masks. Like, just look in the mirror and love what you see. Even when you don't, even when it's hard, even when it's a challenge to show up that way, I promise you, the more you practice, the more you focus on that, the more that's going to be who you show up as every single day. It's just literally going to be something you embody. It's going to be something you show up as every single day automatically. You practiced getting to this place where you don't, yeah, hi, Jill. You practiced getting to this place where you didn't love yourself. We weren't born like this. Are you kidding me? Like, we were born so fucking just brilliant. Like, look at little kids on the playground and how they interact with each other and how they love each other and how it's like just this like beautiful, effortless thing, right? Like, we unlearned that. We unlearned that. We let other people's shit, other people's expectations define who we are. And then we started doing the same thing. We started expecting other people to fill that hole that we had let other people chip away at. And now we're here having to relearn how to love ourselves and how to give ourselves the things that we need and to be okay with ourselves alone. I mean, it's amazing to me. I cannot tell you that when I started showing up expecting, and I will say that I still show up sometimes and I expect shit from people that I should not. I caught myself a couple weeks ago with a couple of different friends. Sorry, Armand, if you're on. But really, like, where I had lost my self-care. I didn't get on my mat. I had not been eating well. I had not been sleeping properly. I couldn't breathe. I was letting the energy of the city take over my life. And I forgot to do the things that filled me up. And so then I started clawing and grasping and reaching for other people and then being like, you're not a good friend to me. How dare you? Like, you're only my friend when XYZ happens, when that's bullshit. They're great friends. I'm not giving myself what I need. And that was my, like, oh shit, time to go back to the basics. To the basics of, like, my yoga practice, which was ahimsa, non-harming. Like, do not harm people. And the way that you get out of the pattern of harming people is by loving yourself first and getting everything that you need from yourself, because it's already here. It's already here. Do you feel? Like, do you guys understand that? I'm reading this book, by the way, I've read it before, The Yamas and the Niyamas by Deborah Adele. This is, if you are interested in how to live a life that is very, just so stress-free, where your thoughts aren't the master, where something bigger than yourself is really the master. Like, the ego mind is all these fluctuations and you're just kind of looking up from above at these thoughts happening, and all your actions and your behaviors happening, but you're not a part of it. Like, you see it, no judgments for it, and you can kind of just, it's almost like, once I started practicing this, it's almost like you can be like, okay, I like this, I don't like that feeling. I like this feeling, I don't like that feeling. And you can just kind of deconstruct your default modes of operation. This is a great place to start. The yamas and the niyamas. So it's basically rules to live by. I mean, and it's for your health, and it all has to do with you. It doesn't have to do with changing other people, because that's never ever the answer. It's never the answer. If you're in a marriage right now, for a perfect example, and you are mad at your spouse for not giving you what you need, or you are having fights constantly about how they're not doing things for you, or how they're not showing up, or how this frustrates me, change yourself. Start there. It still might not be right. I know from experience. It still might not be right, but start there. If you are suffering, start with yourself. Always. You guys, these things healed my body of a disease. Calming the fluctuations of my mind healed my body of a disease. And even more importantly, it healed my mind of dis-ease. Like, there will never be Crohn's disease back in my body. Ever. And it's an incurable disease. It all starts with you giving yourself what you need, loving yourself enough, and practicing when it doesn't feel natural, because again, you unlearned this. You were already brilliant. You already knew you were brilliant when you were little, and then you unlearned it. And yeah, it takes sometimes showing up, looking in the mirror, and lying to yourself, because that's what it's going to feel. It's going to feel like a lie, because it's not natural. It's going to feel like, I really don't feel like I'm beautiful. I really don't feel like I'm worthy of love. I really don't feel like that. But you need to say it to yourself. You need to say it to yourself. I've got people pulling up on the side and probably wondering what I'm doing right now. But yeah, do you guys have any questions before I hop off? I still haven't seen the street sweeper. Yeah, no, I haven't seen the street sweeper at all yet. Yeah, I've got a few things to talk about definitely this week. One of which is going to be directed towards yoga teachers and showing up authentically, and